It's not two side by side, so it's really tough to.
Yeah.
What are we coming back in with?
4, 3, 2, 1. Hang dong.
Hang dong.
Oh man, you didn't
thought
hang dong. I thought immediately when we came back, Mikey was going to hang dong.
I threw 2 fingers. That means you have to hang dong.
Oh, okay. Well, next time we know.
Yeah. All right.
So
Nigel,
tune in
hang
next
dong.
episode.
What are you talking about?
The second half is going to start off with brain.
God damn.
And maybe some mushroom stamps.
Yeah.
I think it's because you and I have been here all day, Stubby.
Yeah,
so have I.
You do both seem pretty worn out. Where Mikey and I are fresh.
Well,
like
I mean,
lilies.
this is
I was here all day.
He was.
Yeah, were you? I mean,
Yeah, but he left at like 5 o'clock. So.
He was here.
And I drove straight home and then realized I had packages in my truck and had to drive back.
What sort of packages?
so he had that relaxing DFW highway time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
Right.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, where you get out on the road and you think life is wonderful on the freeway in Dallas-Fort Worth.
And then some jackass cuts you off, and you're like,
I will murder you.
that always just kills me.
No,
man.
I don't have
you know,
a
when
gun
you're driving
in my truck.
around,
What are you talking about?
You got some asshole pulling in front of you and cutting you off, and you're like, you dumb shit, you're not going to get any for. You might get 2 car lengths ahead of me, but you're going to try to endanger everybody else and kill everybody else, you freaking retard. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's my
All right.
So anyway.
So let's get back to water.
We had a good break, you can tell.
Water and wetness.
Water and wetness. So I want to talk about well water. I was listening a couple episodes
I had
ago.
this asshole. No, I'm just kidding.
I think we all have this asshole.
We all have this asshole.
So a couple episodes ago, I think it was when you and Fritz were talking about your trip to Europe.
Wankers.
Somebody had asked us on Facebook Live about what about well water, and at the time I said, "Don't worry, we're going to get to that because it's such a broad topic to discuss. It's real open ended." And I found that out when I recently moved, and I'm on well water, and I remembered back to when Craig Gilbreth, who's you may remember him from the Childo episode. No, the electric brewing episode. He is the inventor of the Childo, but that's not what the episode was about. No, but Craig lived out in the country and had well water, and he had it analyzed. I remember him. It stuck out of my head because he posted on our forum that his water was liquid rocks. And he posted.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he posted his water profile, and I printed it out here so we could kind of take a look at it. The total hardness was 391. Whew. Which that's very hard. If we look at some of these other reports, total hardness was 131 on Greg's, 119 on mine. Mikey's was 126.
I think mine was the hardest.
He was more than double.
Raga.
More than double what any of ours were. And he was having a real tough time brewing with that. And I was worried about that when I moved into this house and moving on to well water. Because once it gets to be real hard water like that, there's nothing you can do other than to just add distilled water to it. What's going on?
It's just I'm watching the replay, and you got these papers, and they're all in front of the cameras and shit. You know.
Well, I need the papers.
I see that.
They hide his face.
They have vital information. Here we go.
I thought you were showing me something at first.
Yeah, I did too. Oh my goodness.
There we go.
Okay.
All right,
That's
we're
almost
done now.
as weird as
Yeah.
Mikey's thing.
Mikey versus Mikey? No, that was the best thing that ever happened. Yeah.
It's amazing. I
At
love
any
it.
rate, the inside jokes that no one knows anything about.
Right.
So I was worried about that. So I had my well water analyzed. And to answer this listener's question, you have absolutely no idea what your
Jesus.
water is
Hang on a
until you send it off to have it analyzed. Because like Craig's water, when he posted it, was very hard.
Bicarbonate is 400.
Bicarbonate is 444. This is Craig's well water we're talking about.
And we're talking our city water is 105 to 163.
Yeah, and he's 444.
That's like West Texas water.
Yeah.
Almost.
And when you get into like what calcium in the city was 44, his was 113. So really high elevated hard numbers, and it's really tough to work with that water. There's nothing you can do once that stuff is in there other than to dilute the water. And I think what he ended up having to do was just buy distilled water and build it up from there. What I found was the exact opposite. In fact, mine is the same extreme on the soft side of things.
just ridiculous.
So, and we're going to get into, I'm going to have a little comparison here to talk about how soft this water is. So, Mikey, from a chemical point of view, can you talk to us about what softness means?
Well, it's soft water has no minerals to it.
But how is that achieved?
By distillation, by
in nature, how does soft water occur?
In nature, it doesn't sit in
sodium ion. You've talked about this before on the show. Do I really have to lead you by the nose?
I'm trying to figure out where we're going with this.
There's a sodium ion or something that has to do with the sodium pulls the hardness out of the water, correct?
Yeah.
Mikey.
Well,
We're trying to have a show here, dude.
I don't know where you're going. See, this is what happens when he doesn't tell me what's going on ahead of time.
Well, my point is my water is not just soft. It has less than 1 part per million of potassium, 1 part per million of calcium, less than 1 of magnesium. My total hardness is 3. I don't know. I think 0 is the least you can have, right?
But your bicarb is 370.
Right. Also, my pH was 7.8, which is pretty high.
But I mean,
is that coming from the bicarb?
You're getting water out of the ground.
Right. You would think that
it's coming through minerals.
Right.
Where are those minerals going?
Well, the sodium is leaching the minerals out. My sodium is 196. So by comparison, if you look at some of these other water reports that we did before, Greg's old one was 19. My old one was 18. Everybody, okay, here we go. Mikey's is 27.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, look at mine.
And
45.
Nigel's was 19.
Brendan's is 45.
45. Okay, so you had the highest before at 45. I'm at 196. When I got this report back, I did some research into.
So you can make a goza.
I have
without doing anything.
I have blood pressure issues, and sodium affects me. And I had a night where I had a little bit of an episode with that, and so I looked up what the safe range in drinking water is. If you're on a low sodium diet, you shouldn't have any more than 20 parts per million in your water. A regular person shouldn't have any more than, I believe it was 60 parts per million, and I have 196 in my water.
Nice.
The other thing, when I brewed the
RO
other day...
unit, here I come.
Well, see, that's what an an RO unit would be the only way to strip it out. And let's compare this, because Sean Mason has a water softener. So a water softener basically runs your water through sodium, through salt. Right. And that leaches the chemicals out, but it adds sodium to the water. So he's taking water and running it through salt to make it soft. His sodium is 120, and I'm at 196, pulling it out of the ground.
He's like you said, going through salt.
Right. Also, his bicarbonate is, let's see here. My arms aren't long enough. 144. What am I at? 370. Yeah. Now the bicarbonate is significant because it's a buffer, and so if your pH is off in your mash and you're trying to make adjustments, a buffer will stop the acid that you're adjusting from actually changing the pH.
Right.
On my last brew, I took my pH. I think I was at 6.8.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was high, and I was pouring lactic acid and phosphoric acid into my mash, and I could only get it down to about 5.6, and my efficiency showed. So I've got real problems.
Where were you brewing?
Water. A quad. My efficiency sucked too.
So and that was the one you just had Pilsner and you did the dark candy sugar.
Yeah,
so you didn't have any dark malts to help it out either.
No dark malts to help me out. No.
Yeah.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was just Pilsner malt, and with all those bicarbonates in there.
I wonder if it would help to do an acid rest in that situation.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's something we're going to talk about, and
yeah,
it may not be worthwhile for many people, but
well, I think I'm going to have to do two things. For sure, I'm going to have to cut my water half and half with distilled water, probably from the store. So when I do a batch, I'm going to have to buy half my water at the store and bring it in. And the others, I think I'm just going to have to start using acidulated malt, because I don't think that I can pour enough lactic acid in without affecting the flavor.
Acid malt by the sack.
Right.
I know.
This is a good question. Tanner's asking, who do we use to test our water? I think we may have talked about that or not. I'm not sure, but we use Ward Laboratories. Do you know their?
It's wardlab.com. WARDLAB.com.
And make sure to tell them Come and Brew It Radio sent you.
Yes, please do that.
It's if I remember correctly, the homebrew specific water lab test is $29.95. You're going to end up spending about 42.
It ends up being $42 to do it.
$42 because
That's shipping and everything included.
They're going to charge you shipping to your house and then return shipping, and you'll get the results in like 48 hours. So it's a really good deal. It's only the water chemicals that we're concerned with as far as home brewing. They're not going to give you 97 different water levels. They're going to give you everything you need to be concerned with for home brewing and nothing else. So it's a really good deal.
Yeah, and they've been really nice to help us out on different experiments as well. So make sure to support those guys for sure.
So we've got Lou Thoreau on here telling us that I have a sodium well. Does the same thing as a softener. So I'm assuming that he's saying that my well has a softener built into it.
That makes sense.
Well, I would have to add salt to it to keep that going. So maybe he's actually saying that that's just the type of well I have happens to be in an area that has high sodium, because I would have to continually add salt if it was some sort of actually softener. He says the alkalinity won't be removed, and this makes it difficult to reduce your pH. And yes, Lou, that is absolutely correct. That's what I ran into. He says the only main elements removed through softening are calcium and magnesium, replaced by the sodium ions. So that is what I am running into. What I'm finding here is, I was worried my water was going to be too hard and that was going to cause difficulties. And the water being so soft causes the same exact difficulties, in that I'm going to have to dilute it with store-bought water, which I didn't want to do. Especially, I was talking about having a big brew at my house. So our club has a 3-barrel brewing system?
All right.
And so we're talking about, 120 gallons of wort, which takes how much water? Probably 225 gallons. Yeah. So if I were to try and do that, I think everybody would have to bring 5 gallons of water to dump in there. So that makes it difficult.
Or just install you one big-ass RO unit.
Well, even that though, RO units are slow.
You'd have to
fill up 225 gallons of RO water. We'd have to start 2 days ahead of time, I think.
Right.
So,
well, you talk about using a lot of water too. They spill off a bunch.
Well, yeah, you waste a lot of water with an RO system too. Yeah, it's what, like half, isn't it?
Oh,
I think an efficient one is
half or more.
Yeah.
Some of them are different.
So, the other thing too there is, aside from just your water profile affecting your flavor and things like that, we talked a lot about in the water episode about things that affect yeast health and that kind of thing. So I've got no calcium in there, and you need calcium for yeast health.
I don't think nutrient.
There's nutrient. That was going to be my next statement.
We have. The companies that we buy our nutrient from do not say what's in the nutrient, and I can tell you that what I can guess is in the nutrient, just based on what yeast need to survive, and that's potassium, iron, copper, zinc, phosphorus, magnesium, and calcium. So yeast nutrient is a blend of some of that.
Ammonium phosphate.
And we tell people that using star san adds a yeast nutrient, because star san is phosphoric acid. So there's the phosphorus that the yeast need.
I did dump half a bottle of star san into my lab.
That'll help.
Oh, okay.
That'll help.
Well,
but
good.
I guarantee you it's probably potassium, iron, zinc, magnesium, and calcium. Maybe not phosphorus, but it might be in a nutrient. But yeah, you need that calcium. And if you've got low calcium in your water, you got to figure out a way to get it in there.
So Tanner is asking us here, do any of you have a water conditioner versus a water softener that uses sodium? If so, what benefits do you see? I don't know what a water conditioner is.
Man,
do any of you know that?
I don't know.
No.
So that would be a no, Tanner.
We don't know. Yeah?
I'll tell you this. It's taken a lot of getting used to the soft water. I mean,
you have to use like more soap.
No, you use
less.
They
A
say
less.
half.
Oh, yeah.
I'm more at like a quarter.
I mean, it's like look at a bar of soap.
It
and
just
you're fine.
doesn't wash off.
Is that what the smell is?
Yeah. That's why I told my wife why I'm taking such long showers. I finally have an excuse.
Using a sock.
Ever since high school.
Yeah, he's using that sock in
Right,
the shower.
yeah, using that sock. It's
Oh,
a shower
my
sock, babe. You've never heard of that before?
God. Shower sock to go with your shower beer, huh?
So I
Yeah.
brewed 2 beers with this. One is a Belgian blonde. The other is the quad. I'm a little worried with that much sodium in there. Mike, you have Beersmith there. If I remember correctly, the acceptable range of sodium is up to 150 parts per million, right?
Let me pull it up.
Pull it up. And I think I remember
Please don't pull it out.
when we did the original water episode, we talked a lot about if it gets too much, you actually will taste salt.
Oh,
in
for
the
sure.
beer.
Yeah.
It's like a salt malt.
Salt malt.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like it
To
goes.
some people, Saturday night.
Put you some sea
what'd you
salt
say?
in there.
Yours is 196?
196, yes.
Yours is in the yellow range, actually.
What does it say is the acceptable range? It's up to 150, isn't it?
I'm going to find...
So I thought you had really good water out there, man.
No. No.
I thought you were like, oh, it's so
I'm having to
salt.
buy
It's-
water to drink.
It's like Pilsner water.
Well, yeah, until I looked at how much sodium that is. I mean, it's a ridiculous. We've got a guy with a water softener that adds sodium to the water, and it's at 120, and I'm at 196. Plus, his bicarbonate is 144, and I'm, 370?
Yeah, that's high.
That it really makes it difficult to change your pH.
Yeah,
Let's
so
see,
you're
the total
screwed.
total alkalinity is 305.
I got to
as
figure out
opposed
where to
say
find that.
106 from my last one.
Man.
Yeah,
So
106
you're-
for Greg.
you're
106.
gonna
Everybody is 106. it looks
So you're
like.
getting close to the point where it starts actually being water.
And
Yeah,
it's
it's
just,
just
more like,
wet
you know,
salt.
It's not quite as
Have you? Yeah, it's not quite as wet.
just kind of dry water.
Did you compare it against Burton on the Trent water?
No, I didn't. That's a good idea. Actually, I wonder.
Burton...
Burton has a lot of minerals and stuff like that in it. Though,
Burton, the sodium is only 30.
That's some of the worst water on the planet.
Calcium is 130, magnesium 20, sodium 30, sulfate 0, chloride 46, bicarb 366, and a
360.
pH of 7.
So the bicarbs are almost the same.
So you've got similar bicarb. You've got no chloride? No, you had no calcium.
Let's see here. Yeah, I've got no calcium, no
What's your chloride?
potassium, no magnesium. Chloride is 9.
So you could add a shitload of calcium chloride
So
and
some
get.
gypsum.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
You
now
would
my
need the
sulfates
gypsum.
are 26, so I do have a good sulfate to chloride ratio for hoppy beers.
Right, you just need a lot of
They'll just
calcium
be
chloride.
salty too. It'd be like a Goza
I
IPA.
think you need to do a whole lot of calcium chloride in your beers, like a pound.
You
So
might
Tanner's
take
asking,
stock.
is my soft water natural? Yes, that's what we're talking about, Tanner. This is well water. It's straight out of the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked to find out how
You're
soft
just
it was.
you're just on a salt flat or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Take stocks in some chemical firms.
Well, I think you just need to build you a big ass RO system.
yeah.
I think I'm
With-
just going to
with-
have to
with a
buy
two-
half my water, and I'm just going to even if I water it down by half, my sodium is still going to be
still-
100.
That's what you need. You just
You
need
know.
to RO that.
Dude, I mean, the RO units are slow, but you could get a holding tank.
Yeah, you get a big holding
Well,
tank.
just the
and
day before I brew, I just turn it on and put my kettle underneath it, and then come back the next day and brew.
No, you could do
No,
that.
get
Or
you-
just
get
Oh,
you
have
a 200 gallon.
Yeah.
yeah, 200
200
gallon.
gallon holding tank.
Yeah,
Bladder tank. They have them. I mean, they're not that
That's pretty
expensive.
easy to explain to the wife.
the water's unsafe for me to drink, sweetheart. I gotta do it.
Look at my blood pressure.
Well, we've already had that conversation. There was one night where we went to Uncle Julio's for dinner. And so, I'm eating chips and Mexican food, and I come back, and I could feel my blood pressure just go through the roof. I actually had to go to bed early because I felt horrible. And I thought it was just, man, there must have been a lot of salt in that food. And then I got my water report back, and I think I drank like 3 or 4 glasses of water before we went out to dinner that night. And man,
Yikes!
I'm telling you. And that's dangerous for me. I have issues with that. So,
well, you do have issues, but
well, beyond those normal issues, I have blood pressure issues. So. Now, the other thing I'm thinking is, okay, so now I've taken this water and I've brewed a beer with it. So I've taken the water and I've boiled it down by, 2 gallons out of 8, so 25%. or what? Or 12%?
Yeah.
Which one of those two? I'm drinking mead. I don't do math.
You can't
At
do
any
both.
rate, the sodium is higher. So now I'm going to drink this beer, and it's going to raise my blood pressure. This salty beer.
It's probably going to
So-
taste salty. You think? Does your water taste salty?
No, it doesn't taste salty.
Do you make ice with it?
Yeah.
You like lick the outside of the ice cube and it tastes like salt?
The ice melts itself. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It freezes,
Well,
melts,
you know,
and freezes, and
that's
melts.
the weird thing is we've always said, but prior to water testing, when someone says, well, how do I know if my water's good to brew with? Well, does it taste good? Do you like the taste of your water? No, I don't. Okay, well, don't brew with it. Yes, I do like the taste of my water. Well, then brew with it.
Well, that's a pretty basic.
That's the basic.
Litmus test,
but,
yeah.
now,
I think
now
the
we're a lot
point
more
of
complex.
that story is more if you don't like your water taste, don't brew with it. It's not necessarily if you do, then it's fine.
Well, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying is now the litmus test is completely different because, you can go get a water test pretty inexpensively and go, holy crap, I should never brew with this water.
Right. Like I think of my water, if I left meat in it, the next day it would be jerky.
Probably so. But that's a good experiment.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about when we deal with well water. And I guess the answer to our listeners' question about well water is just you have to have it tested because you don't have any idea.
Really, Stubby? I think it's pretty good.
It's mead, dude.
It's less meaty than other mead.
This mead is absolutely fantastic.
It really is.
Can you tell us about it?
It's mead from a customer.
Come on, man.
I don't remember
You
the
know
guy's
the-
name.
It
I
tastes
don't
like,
need his
tastes
name.
like
You
Mustang grape wine.
You just gave me information
This
about this
is,
before we got on the air.
I believe this is a Michael Fairbrother. So
Moonlight Meadery.
Moonlight Meadery. This is his Dreamscape, Dream Eater, Dream something or other mead recipe. Apparently, his several of his recipes are out there, and one of our customers has, I believe he said five hives, and so he wanted to make some mead. So this is his recipe. I think it might have some hibiscus in it.
Yeah, one of our customers or one of our guys online said that, you could just take a sheet of drywall.
And throw it in. Yeah. If I just
Drywall.
filter it
Yeah.
through drywall, yeah.
It's good. I love it.
He might have a little bit of fiberglass in it, but
He
no
also
big deal.
said that he adds salt to butt wiper, and I don't know what that means.
Who is
But I'm
that?
intrigued.
Which listener is this?
Tanner Marshall.
Oh, Tanner.
Tanner,
Okay,
yes.
he's just egging it on.
Well, he's got me wondering. I need more information on that, Tanner. but what all is in this mead? Obviously, it's not just
I
honey.
don't know what the recipe is, but I'm guessing there's like hibiscus or something.
Well, there's got to be like blackberry or
Mustang
something.
grapes.
Is it Mustang?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what it tastes like to me.
I think it's blackberry.
I think it's pretty good.
It's really, really
it's,
good.
It's very, very unmeaty for mead.
Meaty?
Meaty.
Unmeaty?
Meaty.
It's not just
I've never
like
heard that before.
it's not just James
it's not
Lalonde.
very meaty.
Well, it doesn't. There's not very much honey.
not a
flavor to
honey
it, yeah.
flavor. It's not just fermented honey.
I think
There's-
the fruit in it is so strong that it kind of covers up the honey.
All right. I think we're done.
Are we done?
Unless you guys had some other.
Stubby tasted some mead and said, "All right, fuck it, we're done."
Whoa, language.
Oh,
Boom.
being chastised.
Yeah,
man.
that was
We've
me.
been so good for so long. Too.
I know, man. I know.
Especially you, I mean, Stubby. It used to be you.
And
who was
I
always
said
breaking the rule.
PHUCK.
Ah,
Well, I haven't been drinking as much when I come to these things
no,
anymore.
it's
so-
PHUKET, right? Isn't that a city in
yeah,
Thailand?
fuck
Yes, it is.
Phuket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ever since the last, since the what was it, the quad episode?
Oh, butt wiper. He means Budweiser. all right. I follow you, Tanner. Ever since the quad episode.
Yeah, I've tried to behave.
I missed
myself.
that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
you
the
didn't miss
Belgians
much.
definitely taught me a lesson. The Belgian episodes
Yeah.
Yeah.
may have taken a couple of years off my life.
Be cautious.
You know what's funny though? We got more comments and feedback from those episodes than any of the other ones we've ever done.
Well, they
so-
were good episodes. I had no problem with them. I really enjoyed them while we were doing them. It
Just
was
not
the
so much
after
the next day.
effects that were an issue. Not even so much the next day. I mean, like that night.
That's when it's
got in
bad.
trouble with Uber drivers, and
I think the worst part was
You
What
didn't
was it?
pretend to be a DA though, did you?
No.
I did not pretend to be a DA. No.
But that one was the quad was a kind of a disaster. We had Pete over there. He was
Pete drunk.
whoa.
Well. That was interesting.
I miss Pete.
I completely missed that. So I haven't even listened to it yet.
Come back, Pete.
Now
Well,
I know you don't listen to episodes. You have to listen to that episode.
Yeah.
And start at the break.
Yeah, somebody said you guys need to start having a bouncer.
We needed a bouncer that night. We did.
The worst aftermath ever was the first sour episode we ever did. Oh my god!
Oh man, I had a
dude.
great night.
Yeah,
that
me
night.
too.
Yeah, it was
I
no big
enjoyed
deal.
that one.
We ate pepperoni pizza and drank like 20 or 30 freaking sour.
Man, we
beers.
need to do that again.
Dude,
Really good.
I woke up at 4 o'clock in
I'm
the
out.
morning with just acid shooting into my
Man,
mouth.
it's no big deal for me.
God, it was horrendous.
Wow.
Some people just can't handle their good beer.
I'm trying to think of the one that had the aftermath of that night for me. I don't know. There's been a couple where the next day I was in real bad shape. That's why I like doing these on Friday so much more than Thursdays.
Yeah,
See?
but yeah,
Wow.
that was interesting. But I mean, even when we were talking about that the next day when you've been drinking all night and then the next morning you get up and go to, drink. What is it? That place in Belgium?
Water?
No, I don't remember. It's where we went. I just had a brain fart.
When you went to Delirium?
No, I went Delirium, the sour brewery in Brussels.
Cantillon.
Cantillon.
yeah.
Man, 10 o'clock in the morning after drinking all night and have a bunch of
It was-
unblended lambic.
Extra sour.
You know,
It
I'm not a
doesn't do
fan
well.
of unblended lambic.
Yeah, it was pretty
Anyway.
rough. It was pretty rough.
Yeah.
But anyway, my stomach didn't agree with that. But anyway, what do we got coming up?
All right. I don't know. So in
We-
upcoming
we don't
episodes,
know.
we're going to talk more about beer and brewing. And if Greg had written this, I would be able to list specifics. Again, please be sure to check out our Patreon account at patreon.com/comeandbrewit radio to help support the show. We have $2, $5, $10, and $20 options because every little bit counts. Plus, we want to reward you while you keep the show going, so get involved and help improve it.
And you guys see these pimp ass shirts?
Yeah,
these guys
if
are
you're
wearing?
looking at Mikey's and my tight shirts, well, I guess
Toy-
they're not-
like a
they're
toy
tight nups. Yeah, our nice looking shirts that we've got here. These are the ones that
You get from a 10
is
or
it
a $20.
$10 or
10 or
$20
yeah.
contributors get. And I can tell you, these are really nice shirts. I really like mine. So
Yeah, they're really
go on
nice.
there, give us money, and you can get one.
You get lots of other benefits
Give
as
us
well.
money.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm going to say real quick, this mead should have blueberries, black cherries, and black currants.
Okay, that I can
It's
see.
the desire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks again for listening to Come and Brew It Radio. Make sure to share with your friends on social media.
Social.
Give us some ratings on iTunes and Stitcher. And send any ideas or comments to info@texasbrewinginc.com. We really appreciate the participation we've had in the last week or two. So keep it coming. If you
Yeah,
have
we love
questions-
hearing from you guys.
Yeah,
It's great.
It
It's
always
really
gives us
great.
it gives us great ideas about what you guys want to hear, but it also kind of gets creative juices going. If you know what I mean. It gets even wetter, right?
Right.
Also,
Wetter the wet.
You can
No,
also you can
it does
also
not get me wet at all. No.
Slightly
you-
moist.
Oh my God! Also, you can check in on Brew Days of the guys at their Brew Focus Facebook pages.
I
At
walked
Brew
in
with Study.
moist.
At Brew with Brando, at Brew with Mikey B, at Brew with Pete, and at Brew with Greg.
And maybe soon.
Brewing
Brew with Nigel.
I think
Maybe.
you ought to make it at Making Plans for Nigel.
Making
too
plans
long.
for Nigel.
That's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
way too long.
Yeah, we
It's
should do
not.
that. I'll do that for you.
It's not. I think you'll find that people have time to type all kinds of things.
Yes, they do. All right, guys. Until next time, come and
Come and
brew.
brew.
it.
Come and brew it.
I think you ought to do that. Making Plans for Nigel.
There's a copyright.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
Dude. Embrace it.
Brewing plans for Nigel.
Brew Plans for Nigel.
Yeah,
Steer into the skid.
Yeah, right.
Well, I really thought that y'all's experiment was going to be more two different discussions.
Well, we never really got into the crystal at all.
No, we did. We
Yeah, we did.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
No, I just thought it was going to be like the water treatment